Hello guys, what is going on? It's Mr. Xavier A-Rod here, and I'm gonna give you guys a $350 gaming PC that you could build yourself, or you can get someone else to build it. I recommend building it yourself because it's more fun and you get to learn more things that way. But let's get on with the build. Just to let you know before we get started, prices always change on these parts, so you might find a better part cheaper than the part that I've listed in here. Just want to make that for the record. So prices always change. They go lower or they go higher depending on supply and demand, of course. So first off, we're going to start with the build. We need the most important part, the CPU. And the CPU we're going with is the AMD A10 5800K. This CPU is at a base clock of 3.8 gigahertz, and you could overclock it to 4.2 gigahertz thanks to the turbo that AMD has. So you could like bump it up to 4.2. I actually bumped it up to 4.3 right now. So 4.3 is possible, but anything past 4.5, that's when things start to get unstable. But yeah, and also they're having a deal right now. It says they're having a deal right now. If you buy the AMD A10 5800K processor, you'll get Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon coupon with it. Well, it's a combo, limited time offer. So you guys know that. And then now we're gonna head to the motherboard. Now the motherboard that we're going with is the MSI FM2 FM2A75MA E35. This motherboard has 6 gigabits per second, so you're going to need those for your hard drives, as SATA 6 gigabits per second. You're going to need those for your hard drives. It has USB 3.0 in the rear, and then also an onboard connector for your front panel. And then it has two system fan connectors, which is really good because you can plug both of the fans for the case that I chose for this $350 build. So you're gonna need this motherboard's really good, and it's for cheap price of $56. And next thing we're gonna have is G.Skill Aries Series 8 gigabytes of DDR3 1866 megahertz RAM. It's really important to get a fast RAM because the AMD A10 5800K has a built-in GPU, which is where it'll grab the system memory, the RAM memory. So the faster memory you have, the faster frame rates you'll get. So the better frame rates you get, and yeah. Next we have the Seagate Barracuda 500 gigabyte SATA 6 gigabits per second, 3.5-inch internal drive. This is set at, it should be set at 7200 RPMs. I'm not entirely sure, but if you can find one for 7200 RPMs, get it because that's really fast. But this hard drive was a little iffy. The reason why is because I think you could get something a little more cheaper. I don't know. There's cheaper hard drives out there. Like maybe you could get a 300 gigabyte and save some money with that. I don't know. It depends on you. If you think you're gonna need 500 gigs, get it. If you think you're gonna need 300, get it. Just whatever you need. But 500 should be plenty for first. This is a starter build, so it should be plenty for a starter build. Next, we're gonna have the PSU, the power supply, or PSU as I call it. This is the really important part of the build. You don't want to cheap out on this. This part's up to you, but make sure you get something that's 80 certified, at least 80 certified, or at least 80 plus bronze certified, or with the 80 certified, at least that. But the one I chose was the Corsair Builder Series 500 watt PSU. This will be plenty for you to add in a graphics card, a beefy graphics card that requires a plug-in from the power supply. Next, we have the NZXT Technologies Series Source 210 computer case, black. This one's like pretty cheap, 40 bucks. It's $40, but I'm pretty sure you can find a different case. I would recommend getting a different case, something a little more cheaper. But this is the only case that I found that I liked and was good. So the price here is going to be a little bit over $350. And I am not including Windows because you can get Linux, and Linux is free, so it's more up to you. And also another thing I want to add in is that this build is not going to require you to get a graphics card because the CPU has a built-in GPU, so you don't really need a graphics card. It'll play all the latest games on like medium to low settings, so you should be fine with there. But if you want to upgrade in the future, get a 6670 because you can crossfire that with the CPU. So the CPU, GPU, and the GPU or from the graphics card will work together in crossfire to give you a better gameplay. And once once that happens, you could bump up the settings to like high, ultra. I think ultra is like the maximum you could go. I'm not too sure, but yeah, so that'll work. And so there you have it, guys. That is the $350 PC build. Like I said, there's prices always change. Just like, subscribe if you want more.